Warning, this game has spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled and you want to actually try the game out, I recommend doing that first before watching this video. However, if you don't care, then watch it. Thank you.
Hello humans and a couple of dogs and cats that may be watching this video for no apparent reason. Did I even know what I'm talking about? Today, I'll be making a lore video about an old game that is one of my childhood favorites. You may already know by the title of the video, but this game is called, you guessed it, World of Goo! Now you might be asking, what's that? I'll give you a brief explanation. World of Goo is a puzzle game where you connect these little slime blobs called goo balls and build gooey structures to reach these pipes which literally appear out of nowhere, and all the goo balls get sent through a pipe system to be eventually crushed and grinded into energy drinks and beauty products. It's quite a cool game, ain't it? Now that I think about it, I wonder what they would taste like. The game did mention at one time that they taste delicious, so maybe like a fruity flavoring like grapes or pineapples. Oh crap, I'm getting distracted again. Anyways, let's just hop into the gooey lore pit that is World of Goo. Also, another thing I want to add before I start this video, the lore for this game is sort of limited since it's mostly described by a couple of cutscenes and signs scattered throughout the game made from this individual named, well, the sign painter. Took a lot of time and effort to make that one up, huh? Anyways, keep in mind that what I say in this video may not be 100% accurate and that my theories are, well, theories, not facts. Now then, let's start the video. Now, where's the pause button on this thing? This all starts on an island covered by plains and hills. Throughout the island exist slimy life forms named goo balls. Normally, these goo balls sleep most of the time because it seems that they don't have any natural predators that would try to eat them. Everything was peaceful for them until pipes began popping out of nowhere throughout the island. The sudden appearances of these pipes awakened the slumbering goo balls, and they curiously wonder where the pipe would lead them. So, they build up on top of one another and excitedly enter and travel through the pipe. Instead of finding new lands or discovering more goo friends, however, they're sent to a company building that has been recently opened to the public. That company would be World of Goo Corporation. From there, they are processed into consumer products, primarily sports drinks and face cream. The reason for this is explained by the sign painter in the last level of Chapter 1. He says, the last of the goo balls didn't seem to notice that they were extremely delicious. But again though, what do you think they would taste like? Gotta be grape or some sweet flavor. Oh yeah, speaking of that level, after all the goo balls were sent away through the pipes, some were sent to a processing facility located on the island named the Regurgitation Pumping Station. Kind of a gross name, not gonna lie. The goo balls that haven't been processed yet decide to try and escape the facility. To achieve that, they build on one another until they get a hold on one of the rolling wheels up in the roof of the chamber. Once they reach on the top of the facility, they attach the special goo balls called iGoo, which help them float up in the air. Not only that, the iGoo also allows them to have 20/20 vision of their surroundings, allowing them to see faraway islands that they have never seen before. Floating higher and higher, the goo balls knew that they wouldn't be returning back to the ground anytime soon. On a desert-like island, covered by strong gusts of wind, more pipes began popping out of nowhere, awakening the goo balls that inhabit the land. Just like their brothers in the grassy hills, their curiosity encouraged them to climb towards a pipe and get sucked right into it. Like, what's so fascinating about some pipe and getting sucked into it? I know that they possibly will want to know what leads to the other side and the possibility of finding new places, but if I was a goo ball and saw some of my friends and family casually getting sucked away into a random pipe that just appeared out of nowhere, I would probably be concerned and worried about them and where that pipe would actually lead to. But I guess these goo balls don't necessarily have a sense of danger since they most likely don't have any natural predators or hazards, apart from spikes and a couple of spinning saw blades. Anyways, one cool thing about this desert island is that there are two new species of goo balls here. One being shaped like the droplets of water you see on your window when it rains or it's very humid outside, the water goo, and the other one looks like one of those Instagram models that use pounds of makeup while also using a filter, the beauty goo. Now there's something special about these beauty goos, but I'm going to explain it later after I talk about something else about the island. In it lies a living generator named the Beauty Generator, or the Giant Lady thing. Personally, I would choose the second name since it pretty much describes what it looks like, a giant lady thing. This lady thing was used to power the entire world. Yep, you heard me right, the entire world. If only we had that fellow make power for us so we don't have to screw up our climate and raise the sea levels. But ever since that lady thing ran out of fuel, the only thing left to produce electricity for the world was a bunch of makeshift wind turbines powered by the high winds of the island. Even with that, energy worldwide was still limited. Okay, now back to the beady goo. The thing about the beady goo is that they have a sister species called ugly goo. Okay, look, I know it isn't nice to call anyone ugly because of their looks, but yeah. Anyways, after a majority of the goo balls got sucked up into the pipes, a machine suddenly came online called the genetic sorting machine, which is also the name of the last level of the chapter. The machine, technically the player, sorts where the ugly goo go and where the beady goo go. Ugly goos are grinded up and sacrificed to make a bridge for the beady goo. Harsh. The beady goo is sent up to this shaft where it is also grinded up. Then all of its bits and pieces are sent up to this roof where you can see the giant lady thing in the background. The beady bits are sent right into the lady thing's forehead. From there, the beady bits fuel her and she turns on, opening her bright eyes. Oh my god, that's bright! And then it explains that the lady thing is powered by a reactive liquid chemical called beauty, which I presume is what the beady goos are filled with. That also could explain why they're used for like beauty products and whatnot, because of that reactive chemical somehow making your skin clear and look more beautiful, I guess. Of course, after the lady thing begins to generate power all around the world World of Goo Corporation takes advantage of this and builds a massive factory south of the desert island. In the south lies a massive factory that encompasses an entire island, proven by the sign picture in the first level. Here, the World of Goo Corporation is designing a massive project which will present to the company pretty soon. During this, they develop pipes around the island to collect all the goo balls that have decided to live throughout the confines of the factory. I'm pretty sure this island is supposed to be an exaggeration, probably not, of industrialization and the effects it can have on the environment, like in one of the levels named Misty's Long Bony Road, where a lot of the land and atmosphere looks dead and dry. Also another thing, the island inhabits around 5 new species of goo balls. Red goo, a very flammable goo, a bomb goo, an explosive goo that detonates when set on fire, skull goo, a very hard and dead-looking goo that's resistant to sharp things, spike goo, a highly sticky goo that can hang on to most surfaces that aren't pokey, and spike bomb goo, basically a mix between a spike goo and a bomb goo. Before we go on, I just want to mention something. Has anyone ever felt creeped out playing that one level where you got to like explode that robot's head? Everything about it is just felt off, and it made me want to hide in a blanket and hope nothing's like watching you as you play. Anyways, on the last level, World of Goo announces their project to the public called Product Z, and plans on demonstrating it to the public. After they ignite these big black goo balls that also seem to be flammable, they explode, removing the roof of the structure. Then, a large arm, holding a large pew-pew thing, ascends into the air. Once it stops, it shoots a green beam into the sky, which then transforms into a square. And the folks are, well, just see it for yourself. Yeah, the world is now in 3D, but this causes issues. The population has trouble knowing where they're going since they're used to walking around in 2D. Also, the World of Goo Corporation states in this high-tech sign, you're incapable with the world. Now we know that it is specifying the player, but let's assume this applies to everyone else here. Then it tells the player to contact tech support in a place called the Information Superhighway. In a place somewhere near, somewhere, lies a place which oddly resembles something that we call the airport. The environment looks a lot more techy, if that makes sense. And here lies a couple of new goo ball species, all fitting to the cyber-like environment of the superhighway. These include Launch Goo, a goo that likes to shoot itself into outer space, Square Goo, a goo ball that acts like a normal goo ball, but square, Infected Goo, a goo ball that may have gotten infected by good old pal Corona. Dang, I must have caught something nasty. Next is block goo. It's like square goo, but even blockier. And bright green goo, a goo ball that has special privileges like the beauty goo, meaning they go into their own type of pipe only for them. Man, being privileged must be cool, huh? Later on, some of the tech like goo balls pump themselves into the highway's GPU, enhancing the graphics as the sign painter says. Once it's upgraded, the manual says it will offer 256 stunning colors, but my favorite color will always be green. Prefer blue and yellow if I'm being honest. As they move throughout the barren digital land of the highway, they eventually get to meet a peculiar character known as Mom. Seeing some of the messages she says to us, we can tell that she's a spam bot that has sent countless spam emails to the users of the highway. Then, we decide to give Mom the email address of the World of Goo Corporation building and to send all of the deleted spam mail she has ever sent to that specified address. We are then asked to travel into the recycling bin, where we plop this undelete pill into this pit of forsaken information. After that, all the spam emails erupted from the bin, and that was when the show began. And just like that, World of Goo Corporation is no more, and the world has returned to being 2D. In a small island in the middle of nowhere lies the last chapter of the game. No new species of Gooballs, and only a few Gooballs are left here. Their overwhelming curiosity encourages them to travel and build into the pipes to see where it would lead them. Then, we eventually reach the telescope on top of the island. We realize that the guy operating the telescope is actually the same guy who has made all those silly signs throughout the world. After meeting him, he tells us the bad news that all the Gooballs in the world have gone extinct. Also, we sadly don't get to see what he looks like. Sadly. He explained in the first level that after the corporation exploded, all of the smoke and ash was blocking up the sky, preventing him from using the telescope. Thinking that all hope was lost, some weird-looking fish, which seem to be pretty massive, appear near the island. They then attach themselves onto parts of the island, and somehow, the whole damn island just gets ripped off the ground and floats up into the sky. Now, the telescope operator, aka the sign painter, attempts to use the telescope to look straight into the sky. We will never know what the operator was about to discover. Or is it? After the whole floating island nonsense, we get a scene of that Gooball structure from the last level of Chapter 1. And then, we get a silhouette of what seems to be a moon-like planet. In it lies many slumbering Gooballs that are just waiting to be discovered. They probably don't, after seeing their brethren just get wiped out in the great place that is. Phew, ain't that an adventure. Hope you guys enjoyed this nice video on one of my childhood games and explaining the story behind it. I had fun making this video, even though it isn't easy to work with these nub hands. I'll most likely work on another lore video or something different. Who knows? Anyways, see ya.